2012, and what we're doing at BBC Radio Derby is many of us are having a go at one of the sports which will be featured in the Olympics. And this week, hockey. Did you know that hockey gets its name from the French word hockey, which means shepherd's crook? I know. You learned something on the afternoon programme. I decided then to go out one morning last week to find out more about hockey.
My name's Andy Taylor. I'm the head coach at Derby Asterdale Hockey Club.
What does that entail?
Basically, I look after the ladies' first 11 is my key role within the club. I organise all the training sessions, obviously, all match day. This season we've taken a bit of a step up and appointed a manager this year as well as some backroom staff, because the club's just progressing so much. We've now found that we needed to get more and more people on board to help with the organisation.
How did you get involved in the first place?
I started when I was about 15. Bit of a funny story. I was at school in Sutton in Ashfield. I was at a music lesson one lunchtime, late getting back for a sports lesson in the afternoon. And the sports teacher wouldn't let me play football because I turned up late and put a hockey stick in my hand and told me to go and play with the girls. That was 35 years ago, and never looked back since.
You had a natural aptitude for it.
Some would say not if they know me as a player. But yes, I love the sport.
What are the basic rules of hockey?
If you imagine hockey is basically football with a stick. A few obviously oddball rules in and around that. You can't use your feet. You have to use the stick. You can only use one side of the stick. But ostensibly from there, the rules are the same as football. We don't have offsides. That has gone out of the game, which enables a more fast-flowing game and a much more high-scoring game than football. We also have the facility for rolling substitutes. So if a player gets tired, you can get them off the pitch for 10 minutes, give them a break and put them back on again, which, with the pace of the game in the current modern era, you have to have that facility. We were very lucky this weekend. We've just played England Masters. Prior to them going on tour to Australia, we had a full squad of 16. I could have used 20. Players were so tired at the end of the game in the heat because of the pace of the game. So fitness is absolutely key in the whole sport.
And the length of the game?
2 35-minute periods is what we play. But again, that's all due to the pace of the game. We couldn't go to 45 minutes as in the football. But there are rumours of new rules coming in the European leagues. They actually play 4 17.5-minute quarters, which is great for the coaching staff because they get more opportunity to actually speak to the players. But currently 2 35 minutes, and it's long enough.
and is it a sport which is becoming more popular, or has it got to a level and it's sort of stayed there for a while?
Well, it really goes in peaks and troughs depending on what the national sides do. At the moment, the Great Britain and the England teams are doing extremely well. The ladies currently playing the Champions Trophy and finished 5th, which means they qualify to go to Argentina again next year. The men are in the top 4 in the world, so things are looking very good for English hockey and Great Britain hockey, and with that comes the popularity of the sports. Obviously, with the downtrend with some schools not doing out-of-hours sport nowadays, that has had an effect. But I look at ourselves, we run 4 men's teams, we run 3 ladies teams here, we have junior sections on a Sunday morning, we have veterans that play. So just for our relatively small club in the county, it's quite a huge setup. And there are clubs bigger than us. The Derbyshire League itself, the Derbyshire Ladies Hockey League as an example, runs 3 different divisions. So there's a lot of people out there playing.
And will there be another surge when we get 2012?
I think so, yes, most definitely. I think with the publicity that it's beginning to gather now, coming through, I think we're going to see more and more people taking up the sport. It's a fantastic sport that can be played across the age groups, which really does matter. We have one of our players played on Sunday, a lady called Helena Honemund, and she played, and her 2 daughters both played in the same team on the same pitch against England. So that age range, it's fantastic for a family sport, and we regard ourselves as a family club. Very competitive club, but still a family club at the end of the day.
Is it an expensive sport to take up?
To take up, it can. The initial costs are obviously all involved in your kit. It's like a cricket bat or a tennis racket. You can go to a local supermarket and you can buy one for £10. You'll hit a ball and it'll vibrate through your body and hurt. You can also go to local sports shops or some more specialist suppliers and pay £200 to £300 for a stick, but it's all about finding the right equipment for the level at which you're playing. Personally, anything between £100 £150 for a good, very, very good stick is okay. People can still get away with £50 £60. Other than that, it's just your normal sports kit.
And when somebody picks up a hockey stick, can you tell, once they've got it in their hands, if they're going to be any good or not, or does that have to be taught?
Well, I like to think that as part of my role as coach, that I have the ability to spot talent. Certainly when I came here 5 years ago, the team is so different from what it was to what it is now. We had people playing in certain positions, playing in certain ways, that it was very obvious that there was more for them to give if they were directed in the same way. And through sort of my coaching attributes here at the club, I'd like to think that we've certainly progressed over the 5 years. So yes, you can spot it. You know, and if you spot it at an early age, all the better. It's a very young sport. You know, we have 6-7-year-old children coming down on a Sunday morning. You know, and at the other end of the scale, as I say, we have the 50-year-olds still playing for us. But the talent itself, you can spot. You know, and the secret is obviously with clubs like yourselves is to hold on to that talent and nurture it and bring it through the club.
And I have a go myself, and you can find out how I go on in about 15 minutes' time here at BBC Radio Derby. You for hours to get it as well. Just before 2:15, back to our sport under the spotlight then for this week, which is hockey. I met Andy Taylor, who's the head coach from Derby Asterdale hockey teams. There are many of them. So I got all the basics. And it was time to get introduced to some of the players.
This is Lisa Richardson. Lisa's our first 11 goalkeeper and captain.
It's a dangerous occupation, though, isn't it?
It is indeed. You have to be of a certain breed. Yeah.
Because that ball comes throwing at you at quite a speed, doesn't it?
It can do very high speed. The main thing is really not to take your eye off it, because as soon as you do, it's gone.
And how did you get involved with hockey?
I used to live in Spondon, and obviously this hockey club established itself in Spondon 20 odd years ago. They discovered me. I was a large child, and they automatically assumed I should go in goals, which was a perfect choice in the end. So
we haven't got all that running around to do, have you?
Exactly, and that's the thing that drew me to it, because I've never been a runner. I've been very good at standing my whole life, so it is perfect, really, goalkeeping.
And when it comes to kits, okay, we're talking about the hockey stick, but you've got to have plenty of padding, haven't you?
Yeah, head to toe padding, really good protection, and you know, the better you're protected, you know, the better, really, because you can pick up a couple of injuries, but only if you, as I said earlier, take your eye off the ball. So,
and from your stance, a bit like the coach, you can actually see how a game is progressing. So, yeah. And with you being captain as well, does that mean you're quite vocal?
I'm very vocal as a goalkeeper. Andy's standing there shaking his head. Yes, I am very vocal as a goalkeeper. It is key, because I can see the whole pitch, whereas every other player can only see their side, really. But I can get a good view of the defence, you know, exactly what they're doing and who's not marking. Someone needs to pick up a player. So yeah, it is key that a goalkeeper has to be vocal, really.
So talk me through what we've got here.
Right. Well, we start off with the chest guard. Does what it says on the tin. It also protects the shoulders and arms.
Very much like it's almost like a bulletproof vest. It's very well padded as well.
Yeah, it's very, very dense foam, so nothing really gets through that. Right. These are what I call kickers, which obviously are big shoes for the feet. And again, they very high dense foam and high rebound. This is a left glove.
Which looks like, to all intents and purposes, a bit of a pasteboard, which is around about 4 inches thick.
It has to be thick. That takes the main hard shots that are high, so it has to really be able to pick up the rebound on that.
But very light as well.
Very light, yeah. You've got to be able to move very quickly with it.
But you can't feel anything. I mean, we call it a glove, but it's basically just a paddle, isn't it?
It's a paddle, yeah, and it's quite a skill to be able to control the ball with it. Just a small turn of the hand, really, but it can be difficult to use, but you get used to them.
And then we go to your helmet, all important, with the visor on the front. You do look like Robocop when you've got all of these things on.
I have been called a couple of names in this different kit. A lumberjack was one, because I have to wear harnesses to keep my shorts up, but this is very, you know, hardcore.
You can't go cheap, can you, when you're buying a helmet like that?
Not really. I mean, I don't think they sell anything that they all have to be tested. And this as a helmet is one of the top of the range ones. So I prefer to be protected.
It's all about personal safety, isn't it?
It is. If you start off at a junior level, they do junior kits for you. Obviously, they have to take into account the sizes. The higher up the level you get, the higher the protection is, because the shots are going to be becoming a lot harder. For instance, the leg pads here that I've got, they are the top of the range ones. The highest rebound you can get.
So again, a bit like a cricketer's pad. So what are they made out of?
As far as I'm aware, they're just high density foam with a layer of like a rubber on top, and it's to do with the rebound from the ball, because it's no good just stopping the ball. The ball's got to be rebounded in a direction that you want it, away from the players.
So do you feel it when that ball hits you?
You just feel the vibration. You don't feel any pain whatsoever. A good goalkeeper knows to position themselves well behind the ball anyway, and this kit is superb at absorbing the impact.
So Andy, what's going to happen now is I'm not actually going to go in goal. Thank you very much indeed for that. But I'm going to go behind the goal just to see what it's like to get one of these balls at me, and holding my hand. It's the size and with the how it's put together, the composite, it looks like an orange to all intents and purposes, but it's quite a hard compound, isn't it?
It is. It's a compound plastic. It has to be very resilient in its makeup, because of obviously we're hitting the ball. It's anything between 80 and 100 kilometres an hour. When that's coming off of steel posts around the goals and other sticks, obviously we can't risk any breakage or chipping on the ball. It just doesn't happen. So the materials that they use are very, very high end.
Have these changed over the years as well? What were they first? Were they leather, something like that?
Yes, they were. They're ostensibly a cricket ball. It's the only way to describe it. When they played on grass in the early days, they were a leather ball, which obviously would then get wet and get heavy and very sluggish. Those that play cricket will understand that. But obviously, as the game's moved on, they've become this compound. It's best described as a very large golf ball, but made of very, very hard plastic. We get relatively close just in case any do come over the top.
Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, no worries. And we're sort of just a bit further away than the penalty spot would be in a normal game of football.
Yes, the girls are going to shoot in from the top of the D, and the D is 16 metres out from goal. Normally, obviously, the closer the better for them, but what we coach here and other coaches are that as soon as they cross that 16 metre line, they shoot.
Off we go.
Yep.
I like the way you're pushing me towards that.
Just making sure you're not running away. You can see the pace the ball's coming in at. Yeah, and as they get closer, if you can imagine standing just 16 metres away with 2 inches of wood to try and stop this ball, you can get some idea of the danger that can come into the game at times.
Hiya, what's your name?
My name's Matt Parker.
Matt, how long have you been playing?
5 years now.
How should I approach hitting this ball towards the net then?
Probably put your hands about here on the stick, so about, I don't know, for a beginner, quite a toughy stick, use the weight and get down low.
So it's a bit like a golf grip, isn't it?
Similar, but you've got to get down low. You're not standing upright sort of thing hitting it, you've got to get down quite low, get the position right.
Right, I'll have a go then. We've got a couple of balls lined up.
Keep the wrists quite loose, so don't lock your arms, okay? And just step into the ball and hit the ball off your front foot. Right. So as you're standing away, just step in and very gently just hit it. Don't try and hit it too hard.
I do like the way everybody is standing behind me ready to laugh, basically.
Yes. That's it, just step in. Not bad for a first time, not bad at all.
Thank you. Don't clap on your own though, that's all together or not at all.
I think we might have a natural here. Just try and tap the ball forward and then step in now and hit it.
Tap it forward.
Yep.
So, am I a natural or not?
The first few hits are actually quite impressive as somebody that's never picked a stick up before. If you can run, if you're fit enough, I think you could come down here and get a game with our men's fours, no problem.
I think we might have a problem now though, Andy.
Right, have we gone too far there?
We have. Listen, thanks very much for letting us have a go.
It's no problem at all. Thank you very much for coming down.
And all the best to all your teams.
Thank you very much indeed.
Andy Taylor, head coach of Asterdale with all the teams there. I didn't do too bad, I don't think.